Hey everyone, it's Brenda with Stampin' Up here. Today I have a really pretty card to show you. It was inspired by my upline. I have been kind of dragging this summer with all the traveling and different things going on. My mojo has just suffered greatly, and I just haven't had a lot of creative juices flowing lately. So anyway, I met up with my upline for lunch, and we always take cards that we've been working on to show each other what we've been doing. And one of the cards that she had made was a huge inspiration for this card. And unfortunately, she doesn't have it up on her blog. And I tried to print the picture that I took of it, and my printer wouldn't work. So I can't even show you her card, but I can show you what I have come up with. I did change mine up a little bit. Like I say, I almost always make it my own. I very rarely really case a card. But this one is using the Impressions Abloom. And if you follow my channel, you know I already did a demonstration and showed you all of these different color combinations that I had made with these flowers. And I had not made a card with it. And I saw her card, and it was so simple, but very pretty. And so I decided to use that as inspiration. And like I said, I did come up with something completely different than what she did. But this is my card. And I think it really turned out cute. So her card was the strawberry slush and the DSP going around the edge with gold in the middle and white, but her flowers were stamped on, and it didn't have this extra gold. I put the extra gold around the edge, and I used different dyes, and I used the dyes in this instead of stamping the flowers. I thought that looked really cute. I did mean to go around these and ink them a little bit to give them a little more, just make them pop a little bit, and I didn't do that. I also inked around my white just a little bit, and I used a completely different sentiment. So it is definitely a lot different than what hers turned out, but it was certainly inspired by Laura Collett, and that is my upline. So this is what we're making today, but I'm going to change it up just a little bit. I'm going to make it a birthday card, and I'm going to use Highland Heather instead of the strawberry slush. Okay, so this is what we're doing. I also did use the textured note dies. Okay, that's what this is what I cut out this frame with right here. That is the third largest right here. Okay, all of these have a different design on them. They're real fun. But these are an online exclusive, and they've been out since March. So if you're interested in those, you don't want to wait too long, because you never know how long online exclusives are going to stick around. This sentiment came from Fancy Borders right here, and today I'm going to make it a birthday card. So I am going to be using Spring Corners, and I'm going to use this happy birthday right here. Okay, so let's just jump in, and I'll tell you what we need to get started. Okay, so like I said, we're using Highland Heather. So we need a piece of Highland Heather that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. We need a piece of gold. This is not the Stampin' Up. I keep forgetting to order the gold, and so this is the cheap one. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Just leaves a little bit of a border of our card base around it. Okay, just tiny. And I went ahead and cut out our gold piece here from the inside, because you don't need the inside. It's not going to show. So that saves us a little bit of paper. We have the Floral Impressions DSP. This is, you can use any of them that you want. There's a lot of pretty papers in there. You could also use a completely different DSP if you wanted to. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. And then we need a piece of white for the inside. That is 4 by 5 1/4. our white piece, oh boy, I forgot to label this one. Okay, I forgot to label this, so we'll do that last. But we do need scraps. I think what happened is, this is the inside here, but we also need a scrap, and I ended up putting this with my scraps and did not label it. So let me get another piece of white that we need for a scrap. All right, so we need scraps of white, Highland Heather, Garden Green, and crushed curry. All right, and then this should be 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. Okay. Oh, that's not the right line here. Let me see. I'll just write this out real quick. This is white, and it should be 2 3/8 by 3 7/8. Okay. And that is right there for our center on the front. And that is what we need to make this card. All right, so the first things we need to do is in this set here, all right, we have these dies that cut the flowers. All right, so there is an outside and an inside. This embosses, this cuts. If you line them up, you can line them up perfectly and secure them with washi tape and then just run them through one time. Okay, so we're going to run these through with Highland Heather, and I already got those done. And then the two insides for the flowers are these right here. Okay, and I've got those done. And then this one right here, no, not that one, this one. All right, this one you run through with the Garden Green. Okay, so I've got those done. I could have put some leaves. I didn't even think to put leaves on. I should have put some leaves on there. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Maybe we should do that this time, huh? That would mean we need some leaves. So let's try that, because I didn't do that before. Okay. And so I will need to run those through because I did not run, I didn't do leaves. So let's put this aside because I've got mine, I've got those done right here. And I even did my happy birthday. All right, but we're going to run these through. All right. And then we are going to put them on here. That's going to go right on here like this. Okay. And so these we're going to put aside for now. All right, so let me pause just a second, and I'm going to run these through, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my little leaves here, and I'm going to go ahead and put those in the bag here so we don't lose them, because we don't need them quite yet, okay? And then, of course, I need to put my dies back. Don't want to lose those either. You know me, I'm always losing something. Okay, so let's work on this. Okay, we are going to ink around the edge. And like I said, I'm using Highland Heather. So I'm going to use my little Highland Heather brush here. I want to see if I have any ink in there. It doesn't have anything. All right, so I need my ink pad. I don't want a lot. I just want it to be, you know, somewhat subtle. I guess my ink pad is getting a little dry. So I'm just going to start off, and I'm going to just go around the edges, okay? Just to give it a little bit of color. Okay, that ought to work. Okay. All right, so now I'm going to take these. I think I'm going to try to ink these and just see what happens. because I meant to do that on the other one. So let's just check it out. See if that adds a little bit of something to it. Just go around the edges. You don't have to do that. I think this one turned out just fine. And it's so pretty, even without the leaves and the inking. I don't know how much this will change it, but we'll see. You know, the other thing you can do is just go around the edges with a marker, but this is going to bring out those embossed areas as well. Okay, so that looks kind of nice. You can see the difference. It does pop a little bit. All right, and then we're going to do this one too. That's kind of hard to do. It's so small. Okay, that ought to do it. And then, of course, we've got our little centers here. And we can do the same thing with those if we'd like. And the leaves. Let me just dump these out. Probably going to end up losing them. I'm not going to ink this, but I will do the leaves, I think. Of course, I don't have my blending brush out for that. And I forgot to get my... All right, let me get my blending brush and my Daffodil Delight. Okay, I decided to use Daffodil Delight and Granny Apple Green instead of Crushed Curry and Garden Green. But I don't know why. That's what I feel like doing. So that's what I'm going to do. These are not going to be the easiest to go over, but we'll just have to hold them down a little bit. I don't know if it's going to really make that big of a difference, but we'll see. Probably didn't make that big of a difference for the yellow. Probably should have used the the Garden Green, but that's okay. It does change it a little bit, but not a lot. Okay. Definitely could skip that step if you'd like. All right, so now we're gonna put these together here. We need to glue these. And I'm just gonna use my art glitter because I have this fine tip here. And it's a lot easier to not get too much glue. You can just do a tiny little bit. Put those in there. There we go. And now, I guess I can leave that out for now. I'm going to put this. So how I did this is I lined it up. I didn't want to put this on without putting the flowers, the placement of the flowers. I didn't want the flowers going off of the white. So I tried to line the flowers up the way I wanted them. That. Okay, like that. Okay. And then what I did is I took these off, held this down. All right, and I took my little pencil and I just drew like put a little dot behind these little dots here. Okay. And now I can glue this on and just make sure that these go right on those dots, and then I've got my perfect placement. Okay. So just put a little bit of glue on these. Okay. Line those up just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to just trim this off. There we go. And then these are going to go on. Just like that. Okay. All right, and so then if we want to put these leaves on, I do have, like I said, I do have my sentiment done. So let's see where this is going to go. So this is going to go on here. So that would look nice if this is just kind of under the edge, just a little bit like that. I don't think I want 2 leaves. I think I'm just going to do the one. Just like that. Or it could just be coming up. I don't know if that's worth putting on or not. I maybe should have put it underneath that flower, behind that. Coming up this way. But I'm just going to put this one on. I think that's fine. We'll see how it looks. You can always change it the next time. You know. There we go. Just that one is just fine. Okay. Now, so I took our gold here, and like I said, I ran that die and cut the center out because we don't need the center. No one's going to see that that is missing, and there's no sense in wasting the paper. So even if you don't need the center, it's a great way to preserve some of your metallic paper or glimmer paper or whatever you're using. Okay, because this is going to go on here just like that. Okay, I think I could have done a little bit more purple. I think that it's just turned out too light. But once we put it on our DSP, it definitely looks a little bit darker. But I think I might just color that a little bit more. Hopefully I won't get it on the flat. Even if I do get it on the flowers, actually it's okay. So let me just do that. I think it needs just to be a little bit darker. That might be a little too dark right there. There we go. Maybe that'll help. I think that looks a little bit better. Okay. So this is going to go on here. All right. And our gold is going to go on here. This is going to go on here. And then that's going to be layered on top like that. Okay. I'm going to pause you and do my tear and tape, and I'll be right back. Okay. I've got my tear and tape on. And so now we can just layer these on. There's that. That's so pretty. All right, this is going to, you can do this in any order you want. You can put these together first and then line it up. You can put this on first. It doesn't really matter, okay? I kind of like to assemble the background and then put this on, okay? So that's what I'm going to do. And sometimes, especially when you have a very small layer, like this is going to be, it may be easier to stand up to get the perfect placement. Any of you that are experienced, you know that already. All right, so there's that. Okay. And then this one, this is what I'm talking about. So when you want to line this up, there's just a tiny little bit of space around the edges. When you're sitting, you've got an angle this way. When you're standing up, you see directly over the top. So that's why it's easier. Make sure our card is opening the right way. Maybe that don't want to open. Okay, there we go. Just like that. All right. There's that. And this just goes right in the middle, as centered as you can get it. All right, so there's that. And we've got our happy birthday to put on now. Now this one, I just glued it on, and you can kind of see that it, it bubbles up a little bit right there going over the stem. So you could pop it, pop dot it, and I'm thinking I'm going to do that this time on this one. We'll see. I haven't decided yet. So on the inside, we are going to need the stamps, okay? And I'm going to use this stamp right here in the middle. Okay, that's all I did on this inside of this one. Okay, so I'm going to use this and this. All right, and my Highland Heather. And hopefully my Highland Heather is working well enough to stamp these well. Let me see what that... Oh yeah, okay. And I'm just stamping the corners. Okay, that one I did a little bit, maybe could have done a little bit bigger than that, but I didn't. All right, and then I'm going to take, you know what, I think because it's stamped lighter, I think I am going to use Daffodil Delight instead of the Crushed Curry. Because I think the Crushed Curry will look a little bit too dark. This is probably going to be dark enough. There we go. All right, so there's that. And I'm not putting anything on the inside today. I may do that later. I'm not sure. So anyway, I'm just going to glue this on the inside. Decided to use my Scotch here because I haven't used it in a while. I've been using the art glitter glue so much that I haven't used this one, and I am stocked up on my Scotch, so I still want to use it since I have so much of it. All right, so we're going to put that on the inside, just like that. And now let's see if I can find my dimensionals here. If I can get them. All right, here's some. And I think that might look kind of cute pop dotted, so I'm going to do that. You know how I am, though. I like to have it very well supported. You can just go over the top like that, but I think there needs to be some in there as well. So I think what I'm going to do is just use these little half pieces so that it will still go over the stem and not make it pop out too much. Okay, let's just do that. This ought to work well. And that's just going to go right in the center, like that. There we go. And there's that. And then on here, I did put a couple little gems away, and that was the Strawberry Slush and Pretty Pink gems. This is an online exclusive. that just came out in May. Very pretty. And so this time, since it's purple, I'm going to use the purple fine shimmer gems. And let's see, we'll use these here. I think the lighter ones look the best. And I get my take your pick tool. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to put one up here. And then put one down here on this. There we go. And that is my card tutorial for today. I hope you like that. I think it turned out really cute. Very pretty. Like I said, it's a lot different than Laura's card. I wish I had it. I wish I could have gotten my printer to work, but I couldn't. But anyway, this is it. And I hope you like that. And that is it for today. Keep tuning in for my Christmas in July on Wednesdays this month. I got a couple more videos for that series, and then you know, then I'll be back to regular stuff. And we have the mini catalog pre-order. We're going to be starting early next month, so we're going to have a lot of new products coming out, and so that'll be exciting too. Anyway, that is it. If you have any questions, reach out to me. Please like and subscribe if you like my videos. Check out my content. I've got over 500 videos, most of which are tutorials. And always leave me a comment if you don't mind. That helps my channel. Anyway, that's it for today. Have a great day, and God bless. Bye-bye.